Today on Keep Shooting Monday, Christmas morning photo tips. Hey everyone, Greg Cazillo from Cazillo.com. Welcome to Keep Shooting Monday number 49. First up, make sure you get your photos posted to the Christmas or holiday photo assignment. We have some really great prizes from Tiffin, from Adorama, and from Honnold light modifiers for your small strobes. Make sure you get those posted over to the forum by 5 p.m. Eastern Time on December 27th, which is this Friday. Get them posted right away so that you do not lose out, and you might win some of these really awesome prizes. So once again, big thanks to my three sponsors, Tiffin, Adorama, and Honnold Photo Accessories. Greatly appreciated for those. It's great to work with you guys and always appreciate it. Hopefully we can do it again. A little bit of inspiration this week. First thing, Reuters put out an interesting little video with about, I'd say, 100, 150 of their best photos from 2013. Really neat video, very inspiring to see what you can do and the stories you can tell with just a single photograph and some of the things you can capture with a single photograph. So make sure you check out this video and watch it all the way through. Some really awesome stuff, and it actually reminds you of some of the things that happened in 2013, especially earlier in the year, that you just completely forget about. Another one that I wanted to talk about was this video, which is actually a very short film done by No Film School. Basically what it is it's a short film done with this really super high-end camera that shoots like 1,000 frames per second, and there's also backstory behind how they created it. Basically, it's about firefighting, and so of course I'm a volunteer firefighter, so that makes a difference, but the video itself is really, really neat. I could tell as soon as this video started that it was totally set up and wasn't real, but the shots are really good and they're definitely intense, some good moments in there, and worth watching the behind the scenes stuff. Once again, inspiration you can get from a lot of different sources, and this definitely gave me some ideas too. Earlier this year I talked about a website called LenzTag. Their goal is to stop camera and equipment theft over the, basically selling it over the web or selling it online, whatever it is, or, somebody's trying to sell a stolen piece of equipment, to keep that from happening. Well, they just released their iOS app. I don't think it's on Android yet, but it's definitely on iOS, and I played with it. Two things that I didn't like about it, actually there's three now that I think about it. Three things I didn't like about it. Number one, every time you sign in, you have to type in your password. That drives me up the wall. I've got a password on my phone. Facebook doesn't make me type it in every time. Twitter doesn't make me type it in every time. My email, I don't have to type it in every time. Why are you making me type in my password every single time I open the app? That drives me crazy. Number two, when you go to add your own gear, I have a list of all of my equipment serial numbers. Why are you making me go and take a picture of that serial number before I add it? It should be an optional thing. That's a problem. One other thing I noticed on there's no way to report it stolen, an individual piece of gear stolen. If you don't have a picture of that serial number, you can't add it as gear, your own gear. That means you can't report it as lost or stolen. So it kind of doesn't make sense. These are all things that I think were overthought by the company that made the website or made the app. It just didn't keep it simple enough in order to make it really work. I don't know. I just think this is just too overthought in my mind. Last thing is they give you this URL, this randomly generated URL for where your gear is stored. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that, somebody can just randomly start looking up URLs and maybe figure out who this person is and who owns this set of gear. I don't like that. Hopefully there's a way to turn that off, but in my initial review, I have not found a way to go in and turn that feature off. So great idea. I hope that it does work out, but I hope they make some real improvements on this app very quickly. Flickr also introduced this week a new way to embed your photos. Not only can you do the old BB code as well as the plain HTML, you can also get now what's called an iframe. If you've never used an iframe code, it's the same code as what is being used, that I use anyway, to post all my photos up on the website from YouTube. Vimeo uses it, a lot of places use it in order to embed content from other sites. Basically what's happening is my YouTube videos will automatically resize, so will my pictures, it will automatically resize. And the cool thing is that the iframe, this code is going to load the smaller version of the picture, which is going to take less time for a mobile user to download, which is definitely a good thing. And you can also click through the other photos. A lot of people complained about the little Flickr logo being in the bottom corner. That really doesn't bother me. It's the same with YouTube. You know, YouTube has their little logo in the corner. Maybe it could be a little lower opacity. That'd be nice. But, you know, for the most part, I think it's a really good idea. I'm glad they're going this direction. You can also quickly click through to other photos. So I'm guessing if you want to embed a nice little set of images, you can do that with an iframe. As before, you could only do that with a flash setup. And so, as we all know, the iPhone or iPad and a lot of mobile devices do not support flash. So hopefully this is going to go in the right direction. They get it coded and working well, and they take some suggestions from us. That's always a good thing. So up next, Cazillion questions. Question from Victor: do you prefer Mac or PC? I've had both machines now for about a year. I've been using PCs forever and ever and ever. For the most part, I'd say I still prefer the Windows machine over the Mac, maybe because I'm relatively new to it, but I'm pretty comfortable on both platforms now. In fact, another photographer that I work with had a lot of issues with printing this week, and I was able to diagnose that and get that fixed in a relatively short amount of time. So, but for the most part, I feel that I work a little bit quicker on the PC versus the Mac, mainly because of the taskbar. I think the taskbar on Windows is much better, especially switching windows. So for example, on the Windows taskbar, you'll have separate windows or separate little tabs at the bottom. Say I'm in Outlook and I have, you know, I'm drafting 2 or 3 emails, or I open one for another reason. It's very quick and easy for me to be able to click on the right one and find the right one. Whereas in on the Mac, same program in Outlook, I have to go up to the menu bar and then choose window and guess which one I need to use. So far, that's the only way that I've found to make it work for me, and so that definitely slows me down a little bit. The applications run the same speed, no issues. You know, printing is all the same. I've not had any problems there. So if you have the money and you like the Apple design, go for it. Spend the extra money on the hardware. If not, go with a Windows machine. You'll be very happy with it too.
How do you keep your creativity going? I feel like I have photographer's block. I'm losing the motivation I once had. It doesn't take much time to take a photo, but with other priorities, I'm finding it hard to go out and shoot something. I'm not sure if it's motivation or the cold weather. Brr.
This question was actually posted over on the forum. And so, Jose, the first thing I'm going to say is make sure you're doing the photo assignments. I'm usually putting them up about once or twice a month. So go out, do something with that. Even if you don't post them on the forum, which I hope everyone is doing. Even if you don't post them in the forum, at least do the assignment, get some ideas, challenge yourself, and do something with those. If you have suggestions for that, you can always post them on the website too, in the suggestions area. I really do want to take all of your suggestions and keep those things going, keep the ideas flowing on the website, because I know I run out of ideas all the time too. So that's number one. Number two, check out a lot of other sources and look at other photographs. Look at that Reuters video I talked about today. Look at that other firefighting short film that I talked about today. I actually did a video not that long ago where I talk about my favorite photographer, Yusuf Karsh. Check out that video. That one gives you a lot of really good ideas. The big thing is look at other sources of ideas. When you're watching television, last night I was actually watching something on Gold Rush, and how on Gold Rush they actually did a behind the scenes kind of video, and they had this new rig which was really awesome. Some of the shots that they were getting from it, they took this one single shot from like a 3/4 headshot, and they zoomed out probably 100 feet in the air with this little quadcopter thing with a simple little video camera on it, like a little point and shoot kind of a video camera. But it was such an awesome shot that it was totally worth it. And just getting those ideas flowing, either from TV, from media, find some way to get inspired. Maybe it's Flickr, 500 pics, something like that. Maybe Pinterest, maybe you get some ideas on there. There are tons of places to get ideas, but you've got to expose yourself to more media and more ideas and more trends in order to keep yourself really flowing, keep your ideas flowing, and keep your ideas fresh. So let's talk about getting some great Christmas morning photographs. This first scene that I set up was actually a time-lapse in available light. I did it with my iPhone and my trigger trap connected to the camera, but you could do this just as easily with the settings right on the camera. I think most of the Nikon DSLRs allow you to set up the intervalometer, which means it'll take pictures at certain intervals. Maybe not the higher end cameras, or I should say the lower end cameras, but I think everything from about the D7000 and up should do it, somewhere in that range. Not sure about the D5300, but if you have a trigger trap, I'm pretty sure you can make it work. Anyway, set up that time lapse, and you then set it for 2 seconds or 5 seconds, and that could really get some really interesting photos. And that might be more interesting and better than actually doing a video, because you can make that speed by real quick. I personally have found watching like wedding videos and videos like that where they're an hour or 2 hours long, they're just so boring to me, and it's almost torture to try and get through the whole thing, especially nowadays where all we do is fast forward stuff anyway, like with our DVR, So interesting idea, thought you might like it. Set up a camera on a tripod, set it up the night before so that you're ready to go. Take a look in the tomorrow morning, Christmas morning or Christmas Eve morning, with the light, and you get your settings close and all that stuff. Get up before the kids, double check everything, make sure it's ready to go, and you should be fine. And then, as they come around the corner, you might want to try and get a photo with them. If you have your one camera set up, it also doesn't hurt to grab a second camera, whether it be your iPhone or hopefully not the iPad. Shooting photos with an iPad, I think, is kind of weird. It's just too big and too bulky, and it's just weird. Anyway, say you have a point and shoot, or you use your iPhone, something like that, or your Android phone, whatever it is, smartphone. Shoot some secondary pictures with that, some individual memories. Make sure you take your time and you're actually having fun and enjoying it. Don't just shoot pictures the whole time. You want to actually be able to put the camera away for a couple minutes, and that's why this idea of the time lapse, you're still capturing photos, you're still getting some really neat stuff, but you're not having to really pay attention to every single moment, and you still get some cool stuff, but then you have that secondary camera just in case. Use available light if at all possible. Even with some of the newer camera or newer flashes that are fast, like I tried to do a time lapse with a flash, and the flashes are just really tough to refresh that quickly. In a dark room, you're not going to have enough refresh speed unless you're taking like a photo every 10 seconds, and eventually the batteries in that are going to start to wear down. It's not going to refresh as fast, so that's going to be tough to do. If you do have an area where you don't have as much light, like for this setup, I actually had to use strobes because it was in the middle of the house. There wasn't a lot of available light or window light coming in. There was only the overhead lights in the house. I had to set up the strobes in order to get some more light on there. Works fine, looks good, but then maybe you could set up a remote and just hit individual photos and have it already pre-focused, all that stuff. Or if you just want to set up the off-camera flash, which is what I have here with that light coming in from the right side, you can do that, and it'll work out real well. Looks good, something different rather than just the full flash right in the face. And those are always so boring, and they seem to be so crappy to me. That flat light right in the face just always drives me crazy. So some tips that I had here: number one, set up the strobes and camera, all that stuff ahead of time so that you're ready to go. Make sure you get those kids coming in as they're coming around the corner and, you know, they're all happy and it's Christmas morning and all that stuff. Make sure you capture that if at all possible. Maybe you get mom to wake them up and bring them down, or you're ready to go when they come down, or whatever it may be. Try some available light shots with just the tree light. That can be a lot of fun. Pump up your ISO real high and maybe get some photos with just that tree light. Maybe try another one with maybe just a flash on them, or, you know, try a couple of those different kinds of scenes. Maybe you do those Christmas Eve rather than Christmas morning. But, you know, try it and vary it a little bit. By the way, these are all really good tips of ideas and ideas for photos that you could use for the photo assignment that's on the website, and you could win prizes for that. So make sure you post those up there. A couple other things. We talked about the decorated tree. Make sure you get just the tree and the gifts. And then, of course, add the kids or the family and get that whole shot in there. Use a timer to get the whole family if you need to, and a tripod, all that good stuff. Talked about that. And the other thing is just work on those reactions. You know, get nice shots with the reactions of the kids as they're opening their gifts, especially the nicer ones. You know, the ones that they're going to have a bigger reaction to. Maybe maybe the Xbox or maybe the PlayStation that you might buy them as a bigger gift, or maybe it's a toy that they've wanted for a long time. So any of those types of things. And by the way, don't forget to shoot the adults. You know, adults, mom and dad, they can really have some awesome reactions too. We all love hearing kids' smiles and seeing their smiles, but it's also good to see those adults' reactions. So that can be very interesting. So don't forget about including the adults. And of course, like in some of these photos you've seen here, the pets. This dog, I all of a sudden forget her name. Sorry, Kathy, I forget your dog's name. Molly, that was it. She is such a sweet little dog. She's really nice. She just sat there and she crosses her little paws, and it's such a cute thing. She was real easy to work with, one of the easier pets that I've ever had to work with. But don't forget to include the pets and the other family members that are around. So there's some good tips for you for Christmas morning photos. Get your photos posted up to the photo assignment so that you can possibly win. And I think that is it for this week. So Merry Christmas. Thanks, guys. Keep shooting. I'll see you.